19 books this month, and I'm gonna try to talk about them without being too wordy. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give it my best shot. You know what I mean? So to start the month off, I read Boo Thang by Miss Latanya West and Aaron Bebo. I already have a full review on this, but this was good. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was okay. Like I said, I had an issue with the fact that there was no Boo Thang, although the cover and the title is giving some type of Boo Thang situation. This is a gang of robbers who call themselves land pirates. Like, they do a whole situation. Like, it's a bunch of betrayal. Everybody, hey, backstabbing everybody. Hey, they're pirates. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's called Boo Thang. You know what I mean? Hey. You know what I mean? Then I read these two like pamphlet situations. My best friend's older brother. This is a MM romance situation. Pamphlets. They're literally like less than 50 pages. It's by DK Knights. This is freaky deaky. I don't know. Wattpad situation. It was like, hey, he was over there tutoring somebody, talking about his best friend, I guess. I don't know. Tutoring somebody. And the older brother, obviously, the title. Anyway, he wanted the older brother. I listened to this with the AI freaking narration. Please. Hilarious. Although not meant to be hilarious. I do feel like this, when I say Wattpad's not an insult, by the way, I don't know. You know what I mean? You know. But this, like, I feel like it could be a full-length book, you know what I mean, for real, if, like, you just expound on the characters and the situation, because, of course, it's, like, less than 50 pages. Like, you get straight to the point. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You know what I mean? Part 2, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You know what I mean? It's getting very crazy very quick. But quick little situations. DK Knights, I don't mind him. You know what I mean? Hey, good little freaky situation. Cute little, hey, you know what I mean? Spicy situation real quick. I don't know if you want to read that. You know what I mean? Then I read Casting the First Stone by Kimberly Lawson Roby. Love her. You know what I mean? She's really good. This is about Reverend. I keep calling him Pastor. You know what I mean? Hey, what do I know? But he's Reverend Curtis Black. This is the first book of like 15. I have several parts of the series at home, so I'm really gonna, you know what I mean, attempt to get through this series. But this is Sleazeball Pastor. You know what I mean? Hey, he's using the church for money. He cheated on his wife. He's barely home. He is doing everything but preaching. You know what I mean? Hey, the word, he's not looking it up, okay? He's not studying the word. He is a coochie getter. Please, okay? Read it. Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. This was really good. This is like a freaking TV show 6-part series situation. I like this. This was like people, they're living in space. You know what I mean? Hey, Earth too busy and tow up. We don't tow it up. Now we live in space now. And you got people who are like, hey, generations I done lived in space, and you got people fresh out of Earth. You know what I mean? It's like a little divide, a little, I don't know, racism, I guess. And there's like this little judgment, discrimination rather. And it's like, I don't know. Then there's this missing girl, and they're trying to figure out, you know, what happened to her. It's a lot going on. This was a thick book, but it went by pretty quick. Like, I really enjoyed the suspense of it all. The characters were good. This is my first book by James S.A. Corey, and it was good. And I have 3 more books of the series at home. This is a 9-part series, so I definitely will be continuing. So I read The Product Plan by Ashley Antoinette, and this was good. You know what I mean? Very fast-paced, very entertaining. I say entertaining because indie, hilarious. Please. The thing that gets me about certain books is like when the main character is, oh, he this, he that, he got the game sold up, and the Achilles heel be the coach. It's too easy. Like, I'm waiting for the day I read something and he this, he that, and he stand on it. I need the cooch. I'm tired of the Achilles heel being the cooch. It's annoying. But hey, Achilles heel, cooch. He was very easily swindled. I thought he was hilarious because I'm like, please. Entertaining for sure. I do want to read part 2. This is supposed to be Leah's story. Very interested in her because it was giving single white female, but I guess single black female. You know what I mean? It was giving very crazy and deranged type of situation. Like I said, I am going to read part 2. I already have part 2, so I'm definitely going to continue that series. Then I read The Deep by River Solomon. My issue with this was it was too short. I like the whole idea, like, you know what I mean, like the whole symbolic, like, because it's like, hey, these mer people are descendants of pregnant slaves who were thrown overboard. So yeah, we like that. You know, like, it's like very interesting in that way. And then she has this like crippling ability to remember her ancestors, you know, everything they went through and stuff. And like I said, it's too short because it was kind of like insta with the fact that she met this like two-legged person. It's a human, okay, please. But she met this human and hey, kaboom. You know what I mean? Willing to give it all up. You know what I mean? I wish that it was longer so we could, like, I don't know, fully experience the situation. But it was good though. Then I read Booth by Miss Karen Joy Fowler. She plays too much. This is about John Wilkes Booth and his family, and like basically like, oh, like where did he come from? You know what I mean? Start from his daddy was a drunk, out of control type of person. Boo-hoo, they weren't racist. They didn't own slaves. You know what I mean? And I watched some interviews of her talking about this book because a lot of times, literally, I would say 75% of the time, I do go look up interviews and stuff like concerning the author. I literally love doing it. But anyway, so, you know, she's talking about like what motivated her to write this book because I was really curious. I don't know, she can save it for real. But I felt like for this to be written during slave times and where like slavery was like, I mean, literally the way of life, treating a nigga terrible was, hey, I mean, it was like, hey, I don't know, the wind blowing. It was like very regular. So it was like black people were very a spot in the story. That's the whole point of the book, ain't it? Did he kill him because like, hey, he out here with his white supremacy views, and hey, Abraham Lincoln about to sign his Emancipation Proclamation. But hey, in her book, it was very like, oh my God, he was such a twisted individual. Like, he was doing this and that. You know what I mean? Very, like, skinny little skirt, like, you know what I mean? Skipped over that a little too hot for me. I was like, where the niggas at? You know what I mean? But it was like a good story, but it was very where the niggas was at. You know what I mean? It was interesting, I would say. Like, not a good story, I guess. But it was like interesting to read about his family because, I mean, hey, he came from a chaotic background. And that's basically what she was interested in. She was interested in the fact that, like, oh, like, where did this guy come from? Like, he came from such a chaotic family. You know what I mean? She did her research. She talked to the right people. She just didn't include niggas too hard in that story. You know what I mean? Which I thought was pretty odd. But hey, that's what I get for being in white people business. You know what I mean? Then we have Bull Moon Rising by Miss Ruby Dixon. If you know Ruby Dixon, she does write a lot of sci-fi romance type of books. This book in particular is about a girl who, hey, she gets with this minotaur, and she also goes on this journey, minotaur type of person, half man, half bull type of situation. And she goes on this journey because she's like a holder. They hold valuables. Like, they explain the whole magic system in the book. I thought the book was good. It wasn't too much romance. Like, when I'm reading a Ruby, I'm expecting, hey, us to get it on and popping, just to be real here. Not too much on and popping, very, very tiny on and popping situation. But the on and popping that was there was very, very good. I really did like the male character. He was very cute. I thought the girl was very cute. She was like a quirky little, you know, funny little situation. I am gonna read book 2 because book 2 is about book 2 is by our friend, and she was very funny, so I'm gonna read it. Then I read She's in Love with a Sinner by Nadir. This was good. His book seemed to stress me out. He does not care about pleasing anybody. I don't know, the characters are always very like, I don't know, nothing's happy ever going on. Lucifer, I actually liked him. He was like a menace to society type of person, but he also, hey, he had to take his mama to church. He was very serious about that. Dawn, hey, I don't know, right until the wheels fall off. Hey, that was her. This was good. It's gonna be a part 2. I do not enjoy being surprised with a part 2 situation, but I am gonna wait for part 2 because I am gonna read it. Thank you. Then I read Good Girl Better Taste by Cartier. I think that's how you say his name. I had to go look up a video So I think he said on an interview one time. I had to go find it to figure out how to say his name because I've been saying Corday or something like that. It's Cartier. Please, if I'm tripping. But anyway, this is an erotica. It's about Damien. Damien, he's like Big Daddy. Hey, he do a little freaky deaky situation. He take girls to the island and he blow their backs out apparently. And then you got Morgan, who's this sweet girl. She's a bartender. She has aspirations of being a chef. And they're both two people who, I feel like they were both sweet people, but they didn't have an outlet to be sweet. You know what I mean? You ain't find the right one, and of course, they're each other's right one. I enjoyed their, like, banter. I enjoyed both of their, like, background stories. For this to be an erotica, I thought it was going to be a very hanky-panky situation. But it had a cute little love story situation going on, which I really enjoyed. Yeah. Then I read The Memory Police by Yoko Agawa. This was interesting. I thought this was good. This was very like, you don't know what you miss until it's gone type of vibes. This is about, hey, a place where the memory police and memories, they take away random stuff like, hey, one day we taking away shirts or something. That's not what they did. But we taking away shirts, like not everybody's shirtless and everybody just living without a shirt. And you better forget ho or we're coming to get you with a warrant. I don't, you know what I mean? Like literally the most random things like like not pens, birds, roses specifically, not flowers in general. Hey, take them roses away. You know what I mean? Very, I don't know. The ending left me very puzzled. But like I said, I think it's one of them make your own ending type of situation. Very, very interesting. You want to read something weird and you don't want to know what happened at the end. Hello. Then I read Toy by Uzziah Black. I randomly saw him on TikTok or whatever. This book was out of control, actually. She was fed up with her man treating her like he didn't care, so she set him up. He kept asking for a threesome, so she was like, okay, cool, babe, I'm gonna have a threesome. She shows up, she blindfolds him and shows up with a man. Okay, what? You're out of control, babes, automatically. I could honestly say I didn't know where this story was going ever. I don't know what. Very entertaining, very highly entertaining situation. For sure. It was a quick read. I read this one morning before I went to work. I read check it out. If I Was Your Best Friend by Nisha. I met her at Chocolate City Book Fest. She is so cute. I didn't know she was Tanisha Stewart, and she writes thrillers as well. So anyway, this is a romance, and it's about two people who, you know what I mean, they both got their insecurities. I thought it was a very cute type of love story. And they both got their insecurities about the situation, but it was, you know, joyful that they like pushed through. You know what I mean? They both had, you know what I mean? Like it was cute. The shoe does drop in this, which had me highly upset. But it was good. You know what I mean? Bit Not Broken by Mary Monroe. This was good. This is about a lady who wasted, I don't know, 30 years of her life catering to her abuser. She was in an abusive marriage. And I said it because like when she got pregnant, okay, cool. But once the child is grown, it's like, man, please leave. But the turn of events, the shoe does drop in this one too. This was good. You know Mary. Read it. When He Holds Me by Lore. The cover title, I'm thinking like, okay, cool. When he holds me, a little MM romance situation. Yeah, for one, he's with his uncle. This is in the synopsis because, hey, this is not a spoiler. He's with his uncle. This the forbidden romance, y'all. I don't have nothing else to say to not spoil it because it's very short, very quick to the point. This is another one I read before I went to work. This was out of control, darker than what I expected. Very trauma filled, you know what I mean? Very like, oh my God, he needs help. You know what I mean? Lord writes very like, I don't know. He's another, y'all don't be caring. Nothing's happy going on. Cause I'm still thinking about Noonie. Like I'm still upset actually. But check it out. Searching for Happy by Miss Venus Knight. This was really good, y'all. This was about Happy, who she's anything but, okay? She's very like anxious, very like, she doesn't really live in the moment. She kind of just in her own world. She has a lot going on, you know what I mean? And she doesn't, like I said, she doesn't like see, she too focused on, you know, the things that are bad for her, than not notice like the good things. This was definitely eye-opening, you know what I mean? And it was very poetic. I think she wrote, Venus wrote poetry or writes poetry or something like that, because there were a lot of poems in there. And this is really, really good, so check it out. Then I reread Black by Joan Vazer, saying her name correctly. This is really good, of course. Y'all already know how I feel about Black. Do I have to say too much? And today, specifically, I finished Culpability by Bruce Holsinger. This was good. This is about like, hey, dangers of AI, basically. I don't know. Stop talking to them chat bots. You know what I mean? That's why I got out of this story. Stop talking to the chat. Stop talking to chat like they're your homeboy. They're not real. You know what I mean? The dangers of that. I don't know. It was a lot going on. The government, it was a whole lot going on. It was about a family who, they were in a car crash, and the car was like the auto driving software, and the police used like some digital something to like figure out what was going on, what caused the crash, and it like, I don't know. Nobody wins when a family feuds type of situation. It was, I don't know, it was kind of out of control actually. But this was for sure good. I read this today, so I would say it's a fairly like quick, you know, to the point type of situation. And I think it is like 350 pages, but I read that, like I said, today. So, hey, get into it. But y'all, if you made it to this point, hello, thank you. Thanks for watching.